it's another video. So today is a bunch of random stuff. I wasn't quite sure what to do, and there's a few odds and ends I needed to finish up. So we go work on some stuff for the bus, and then also go exploring outside because it wound up being an extremely nice day. So anyways, there you go. Hopefully you enjoy. I was out at the bus a few days ago, last week sometime, and I think one of the 8D, well, I know one of the 8D batteries for the chassis has gone bad, or so I thought. But then I remembered to myself, these are wet cell lead acid batteries with vent caps on the top, and you have to monitor the electrolyte level in them. They're kind of tucked way back in there, so there's no way for me to even get my head in there and look down inside there. So I figured a borescope was in order. I figured though if I was going to buy one, I might as well get one that comes with a case to haul it around in, and then also 2 cameras and the ability to at least take photos. Usually if they take photos, they can also record video. So we ended up with this thing. Really handy for a lot of other stuff. I think it was $81 with promotions or something. It's a 5mm lens. It's hard to illustrate how tiny this is. There it is with my finger. There's a camera and lights on the end, and then a second camera with lights right here. And it's one of these semi-rigid cables that you can bend into place. But I was looking around at all the different cameras, and you know how a lot of times when you look at the plastic, you can tell they're just incredibly rubbish. So anyways, this one connects with the USB-C cable, which is kind of cool. It's got an elongated metal housing with a track, and there's a button on it too. See if we got any power. Oh, it is a Techlong. So this one showed up completely unbranded. I thought it was a knockoff of the Techlong ones, which they are a random Amazon brand, but they seem to be fairly decent when it comes to like borescopes. So anyways, okay, this is a nice unit. I'm going to put a link for this down below. Yeah, we're recording this thing. Does it have audio? It's got audio and video. Nice. I figured this would be a handy thing to have, and now we will be able to check the electrolyte level in those batteries in the bus. Sweet. It's the next day now. We're getting ready to head out to the bus. I did remember though that last time I was out there, I managed to melt the fuse holders that are built into the 2-channel charger I use for the chassis batteries. So, okay, this is going to be a whole thing. I don't know if I can do this. No, I cannot. Hang on. Plan B. I've got some hydraulic crimpers floating around here somewhere, but I don't know where they are, so I guess we're gonna try using this. I was not expecting this to be this much work, but that's crimped on. Get our heat shrink on here. All right, I'm gonna make 2 more of these, and then I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna attach it to the other end yet, but I'll have to bring all my electrical tools out there. But yeah, I'm gonna make a couple more of these, then we're gonna head out to the bus. It appears as though my favorite wire cutters that I got back in 2015 are starting to come apart. Rubber reversion and all that. Probably time to buy a new set of these anyways. They're kind of getting worn out. Pressing down on them like this, I think, did its thing. But anyways, we have 3 of these now. Forgot to put the heat shrink on that one, but whatever. Then I'm going to grab the rest of my electrical tools, and we're going to hop into Utility Chair 2.0 because the gravel where the bus is parked is no good. And we're going to take the new borescope that we just got. Oh, I forgot. While I was out, I needed to get some distilled water. Okay, so I'll have to make a stop along the way, get a gallon of distilled water, and then we're going to check the batteries, and if nothing else, get these replaced. And yeah, something. I don't know. Today's kind of bleh. Oh, look, it's a bus. So, got the borescope here. We're going to open up the battery hatch and take a peek down inside these batteries. see if they are missing all of the electrolyte. Seeing as how I've never checked it, there's a very high probability of that. I wasn't even thinking about it because I'm used to always dealing with, sealed batteries, or AGM ones. Now, this battery over here was giving me a little bit of static, but not nearly as bad as this one. Oh, by the way, here's our little, I don't know if you can even see that. Here's our inline fuse holders. They kind of melted. These ones got really hot. But anyways, let's get our caps off of here. Oh, rubber gloves. That's what I should have brought. Start recording on this. And let's take a peek down in here. And that one looks like the plates are covered. Let's try a few others. Yeah, I really should have brought some gloves and or wipes or something to wipe all this off, seeing as how we're shoving this down into battery acid coated holes. Into the next one we go. Yeah, that definitely looks completely covered. So does that one. But this one, yep, that's completely covered. Oh, man. I was hoping it would be something easy. Alright, last two, here we go. Those are covered. And those are covered. Well, dang. I guess at this point, I don't really need to do anything else because all these cables are going to have to come back off of here when we swap the batteries out. So adding on our new charging connectors is not going to do us any favors. In fact, it'll create more work later on. Oh, come here, Cap. Well, this result pretty much dramatically limits anything else we can do here today. My thought was if the batteries were low on electrolyte, we could top them off and start them charging, and then if they happen to recover, we'd be able to get them charged up, get the lift working, and I could get inside and work on getting some stuff out of here because, well, I think it might be time to sell this thing. It's just, as I get older and my disability changes and whatnot, it's just so much more work to deal with everything on this. So, let me get all this put away, and then I'll hop back in the van and kind of explain what my thoughts are. Oh man, it is ridiculously windy. The dust clouds are real today. So, my thought is, everything is becoming more difficult, obviously, as time goes on, not getting any younger and, the whole disability thing. My function levels are always changing and it makes everything extremely difficult. But I bought this bus to live in and got it built out. I mean, we're probably 85% done. You know how projects like this go. They never completely finish, but everything I try to do with it is just so much work. And me being in a chair and not having the help to work on stuff, even basic maintenance tasks, like these things were designed to be serviced and kept running by a heavy line maintenance shop. And everything about it is built that way. I mean, like the engine and transmission have rails, they slide out on the back. Obviously that's not something I can do, but we had to replace the water pump on it, last year sometime. Had some help doing that. But even changing filters and a bunch of other stuff, I'm just coming to the realization now that it's beyond what I'm easily capable of doing. But bought it, got it converted, it worked for my purposes. Lived in the thing for 3 years. I'll have to figure out the exact amount of time, but I think it was a little over 3 years. And it still runs and drives now just fine. When I drove the thing out here, it was like 30-something miles. And while I have a background history of driving large vehicles and straight trucks and stuff like that, I got to realizing that it takes too much brain power. It drives really nice, but everything with me and like, the TBI stuff and whatnot, and that doesn't get better over the years, but I realized as I was driving it out here that I'm not going to be able to road trip this thing. That was my thought. Buy it, have a place to live in it, then I have a backup living space, and I can use it for road trips. It gets great fuel mileage. Like, this thing can get like 10 or 11 miles to the gallon. That's insane for a 37,000 pound thing. But being realistic and the things I've had to fight with it here, just basic maintenance things, I'm rambling. I need to sell it while it's still running and driving. These things hate sitting around. I fired it up maybe, once a week, every couple of weeks, something like that. They really don't like that, but it's better than not starting it. They need to be driven on a weekly basis. But anyways, I've been talking about the FedEx postal van, like step van Grumman type things for quite some time. And a guy I know in town actually bought one, and he kind of converted it to use for his business, and it's the perfect size. You can get these things in really nice shape, with a Cummins engine or what's that other new one, the GM one, a Duramax, something like that, all day long for like $3,000 to $5,000. And all I'd have to do is stick a wheelchair lift in the back of the thing, put some hand controls on it, and it would work. I could drive it from my chair. The driver's console, you're basically already sitting on a bar stool, so it's tall enough to drive from a power chair. That would be a great road trip machine. They're fairly inexpensive to buy, and it's basically just a regular consumer truck chassis. So doing all the maintenance and repairs isn't something like this bus. It's very achievable, or if I have to take it to a shop, like getting this thing to a shop is astronomically expensive, and then the hourly rate. Never mind if something breaks down on the side of the road. A tow for something this big will easily cost 3 times what it's worth. So, pragmatically speaking, I think I'm going to sell this, and then I'm going to get one of those other trucks. The little words are hard right now. Oh, coffee. Forgot that was down here. My giant jug of coffee. One of those FedEx style trucks. It'd be real easy to have like a little fold down bed in the back of that thing. They're still going to be economical. They're easy to work on. I could have it as a daily driver too. I could easily, put some friends in there, have the tie downs and everything. And I think that would work great. So I think that's going to be the plan. I don't know what I'm selling this thing for. I'm not going to fire sale it, but I don't know. I haven't checked prices recently. I wound up buying it after everything was all said and done for, I think, around $8,500. And I don't even know how much I've got into it. I haven't figured out yet what I'm leaving in it. I guess it all depends on who buys it. I mean, if for some reason a wheelchair user wants it, it's set up really well. If someone that's not in a wheelchair wants it, it's going to take a lot of work. So I'm going to take out my home assistant stuff, I think, and some of the other things, because that's just all confusing. There's no way I can explain and have someone safely operate the electrical system that I've installed in this. It is in my brain, and there's no way to disseminate that information to anyone else, because it doesn't make any sense. It confuses me sometimes. So those batteries are under warranty. I'm going to stop by the place that I got them from. I'm going to stop by and chat with them, see how that goes, and get the battery swapped so we can at least get it fired up and get the lift working again. Because I need to get in there and kind of figure out what's in there and figure out what I'm taking out and all that stuff. But anyways, I think that's where we're at for right now. It was supposed to rain today. It's clearly not raining. So I think what I might do, hang on, I'm trying to think. There's a couple of boat launches that I want to check out that are closed over the winter that have just reopened. But some of the hills getting down to them are extremely steep. Anyways, I'm going to head back to the apartment. I'm going to do a little bit of looking around, and then I think we may go do a little bit of exploring, because I don't know what else I'm doing today. Today's just one of those days where everything is kind of bleh. I don't really want to do anything. So I'm kind of glad that I can't do anything here, because that was going to be a lot of work. Anyways, again, I'm babbling. I'm going to pick up the camera in a little bit. Hopefully we'll go check out some stuff. We're using most of the fleet today. So earlier when I had to go pick up some stuff, I used the bounder to get over there. Then my daily F3, obviously I used that since I woke up this morning. But since I had to go out to the bus earlier, I'm currently sitting in utility chair 2.0. And I think we're going to go check out some stuff outside, because it's ridiculously nice weather. You can see on that little blue blur over there, there's like blue sky. So I'm going to hop back in the bounder Then, for some reason, the clock on this never stays correct. I think that's an RNet thing if you don't use it very often. I don't know. But we're going to hop in this. I'm going to grab the new Insta360 X5. I played around with that a little bit a couple days ago. And we're going to go look at some stuff. I think there's a few hills that are too steep for pretty much any power chair. But if I pick my routing correctly, we should be all right. Anyways, I'm going to load up in this thing. Oh, yeah, and we do have our camera system on here, so that's nice. Anyways, let's go outside. Oh, welcome back to the sidewalk. A little bit of wind out here, which is accentuated by traveling 9 miles an hour. I suppose this camera can correct that, so we shall see. But there's a boat launch and some other stuff that's closed during the winter down here, and I'm curious to check it out. Well, I've filmed the next part of this about 1,000 times, so I'll turn the camera back on when we get down to where we're going. Also, it's extremely bumpy down here, and I'd rather not try to hold a camera. Whee! I will say, though, having this rear view camera is very helpful. Especially in places like this where I have to run in the traffic lanes. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. There's an giant crane, and it says launch closed through 2025. Well, that sucks. Yeah, it's locked up on the other side too. I guess we'll go up top and see. There's another thing that goes down, but it's extremely steep, but we'll at least take a look. I'm still playing around with this camera. I'm splitting up some of the footage into different frame rates and resolutions to see how it turns out. Right now it's a slightly lower resolution, but it's got a frame rate of 60, which might help a little bit. Ah, looks like the gate's open. Let's see here. So there's no way I'm going down there in this chair because rear-wheel drive is kind of sketchy with steep downhill slopes. I could probably get down there in the F3 and make it back up just fine. Let's go over here a little bit. So there is a little bit of switchbacking back and forth, and the gravel does get pretty deep down there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I am potentially tempted to try it in the F3, but the gravel's a little loose down there on that middle switchback, so I don't know. And basically it just goes down to some picnic tables right next to the water. Yeah, I don't know. Frontier V6 obviously would be no problem for that, but we're not going to attempt it today. My power soccer team is heading to nationals in Fort Wayne, Indiana right now. A friend's coming over this weekend to... we're going to watch some of the live streams. Oh, look, there's a babbling brook. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm just going to head back. Right here's another spot I wouldn't mind exploring, but it is also very steep. Oh, yeah, that is the danger zone. I don't think I have any chairs I would want to go down that in. Other than like maybe an electric track chair. Yeah, that's a little sketchy. I keep catching myself trying to look behind me, and then I remember I have this little screen here. It's really handy. I thought it would be annoying having a screen sitting right there, but being able to glance down and see what's going on behind me is outstanding. All right, I stopped by the place that I got the batteries for the bus from. Turns out they're still 47% under warranty, so it's going to cost me about $371 to get both of those replaced. But he said, yeah, if you measured them and they're only at a volt, we won't even bother testing them. We'll just swap them out. I think what I need to do is attach a secondary cutoff switch, because even when the giant knife switch is turned off, it still pulls power from the equalizer. But anyways, it's going to take about a week for the new batteries to come in, and then they'll give me a call and we'll schedule a time to swap them. He said he won't even charge me for the installation, so that's awesome. I do believe we're going to call that good for now. I just cooked and ate some chicken legs. It's always a thing that's edible. But yeah, today has just been like, everything is, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But some days are just like that. You just got to push through them. Did still manage to get some stuff done at least. Figured out some things. I got about a week to come up with the $370 some odd to get both those batteries replaced. By the way, that includes both of them, so not too bad. So I'll wait for those to show up, get them installed, and then kind of figure out what we're doing moving forward from there. So anyways, thanks for watching. I will catch you tomorrow on the live stream, and hopefully you enjoyed. I've got to do some dishes.